What's going on, guys? We're back. Chosen Sports here. We got the NFL playoff picks. Very exciting time here. We're ready to go. I got my main man, Mikey Dell, with me, and we got our sports picks here. We're also doing a contest on our page right now on Instagram at chosen.sports. You guys should go give it a follow. Follow the sweepstakes to enter, and then you have a chance to win a $25 Amazon gift card. So go link to that on the
Give me that money.
Gotta get that quick money. If you know your shit, you're getting money. Simple as that. But Dell, how do you want to operate this? Do you want to just go for each round? Like, so we'll start with AFC wild cards, and then we'll go to NFC wild cards, then AFC divisional, then NFC divisional. Is that like that?
Yeah, exactly. We'll go left to right. So we'll go to the AFC first, and we'll do each matchup, break it down, break down our picks, and then we'll just keep going over to the NFC, and then eventually over to the championship and whatnot.
Cool. Yeah, that works for me. So I guess we can start with the Colts and Bills. For me and you, we both took the Bills here. I think that's a pretty easy choice for me. I'm not sure about you, but for me, I just look at a couple things. Josh Allen is debatably an MVP candidate. I know he's not going to win probably this year because of Aaron Rodgers, the year he's having, but
hey, Rob, baby.
He's unbelievable. Aaron Rodgers had a great year, but Josh Allen has just been pretty lights out this year. He ain't 2019 Josh Allen. He's fixed a lot of things.
I mean, that's a lot of credit to Stephon Diggs, but still, you still got to be able to put the ball on there. Kirk Cousins had big advantages when he's still a fucking dumpster fire.
Stephon Diggs, that's what I'm saying. Stephon Diggs didn't make Kirk Cousins good. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
3 words for you. You like that?
Just like I think he's taking major strides. The coaching staff there did a great job with Josh Allen, and he's going to be one of the faces of the league moving forward. I think I'm really impressed with him this whole year. The Colts will keep the game reasonable. I don't think it'll get crazy out of hand. The Colts D is very, formidable. They got a good D line, some good secondary pieces. Their young rookie safety that's been playing really well for them, Blackman. And they have just a couple good pieces on defensive side, but I just don't think the offense for the Colts behind Phillip Rivers has enough to match points with the Bills. The Bills is just a scoring show. So I think Bills Mafia will finally secure a playoff win.
Yeah, exactly, dude. Phillip Rivers is like he can light it up like yardage wise, but like they have nobody to throw it to. Like they have T.Y. Hilton who's on like his last leg. That dude is, I think it was like from the end of last season to like midway through this season, he went a stretch of like 14 games or something like that without a touchdown. It was like he's donezo, dude. They have no other options. The next best guy is what, like Jack Doyle?
Yeah, no, they just don't have many good players. They have a pretty good rookie. I'm blanking on his name right now though. He's been a little quiet lately though. You remember the rookie they drafted?
It was a wideout, right?
Yeah, the wideout. I'm blanking on his name. I think he went early second round.
Yeah, I can't remember. My buddy John, he's a Colts fan for God knows whatever reason. He's from Winthrop, bro. But
I usually know the guy, so it's kind of shitty that I forgot him in the middle of this video. But yeah, he's playing decently well for them. He's come on kind of late in the year, but I just don't think they have enough to hang with the Bills. Unfortunately, I like Phillip Rivers a lot with his 11 kids and all the other crazy shit he got going on in his life. But he's a good guy, really fun guy. I saw that he might take up broadcasting after he retires, which would be awesome because I think he's a funny ass dude. But
I think he needs to work on his pull-up game before he goes and tries broadcasting, man. Like
a little bit of that too.
He's definitely like levels of this. You know what I mean? Like
just you're
in a career right now, playing football, so you can't do the pull-up game, but then you do the pull-up game, and then you go to broadcast. Like you gotta.
Yeah, he messed up the order a little bit. But yeah, I don't know about you, but for me, the Bills, I think will secure the dub on that pretty easily. What do you think?
Yeah, Bills Mafia, baby. I would love to see them in the Super Bowl, but I mean, as you can see on my bracket, I don't see anybody getting past KC. But that's I've been wanting them to win one for a while now. Like I always said, like if I wasn't a Pats fan, like I'd probably be a Bills fan. Not even because like they're good, like they usually suck, but it's just they're just so much fun. You know what I mean?
That's a damn good fan base. Simple as that. All right, let's move on. We got Browns and Steelers. So we got the 6 seed Browns visiting the 3 seed Steelers. My pick here is the Steelers. The Browns almost lost to their backups last week. I mean,
to Mason Rudolph.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, that guy got his head fucking taken off by Myles Garrett swinging his
helmet. That dude's essentially a vegetable. Like
he's gotten knocked out like 3 times.
Is the NFL is the only sport where you could literally do assault and battery with a deadly weapon, Myles Garrett, and then become one of the highest paid players? Like, is that fucked up? Like,
yep. It's definitely
you beat the shit out of your wife and you get 4 games on the bench, and it's like, okay, like whatever.
Like how many chances did Greg Hardy have before he was removed?
Yeah, and now it doesn't matter, dude, because now he's doing MMA and he's fucking actually doing pretty good. Like he's actually
plenty of money.
Like, but he's still fucking making money. Like it's just crazy.
Yeah, it makes no sense, but that's just how she rolls. You're successful, you got another shot at life. Most people wouldn't, but good for them. Uh, Overall, though, I think the Steelers just have a little bit too much for the Browns when they're fully healthy and they got that rest from last week.
Well, that defense, man, led by TJ Watt. I mean, he's borderline defensive player of the year this year. I mean, it's fucking Baker Mayfield just usually can't withstand the pressure. I mean, he's picked it up this year substantially, considering the last year dumpster fire collapse, so how badly he played.
Yeah.
And then early on in the year, he was playing pretty poor. He's picked it up for sure, so that's like a credit to him. He's starting to figure it out a little bit. Definitely the new head coach without trash bag Freddie Kitchens, that fat fuck. He finally got out of there. They got Stefanski, who's doing pretty good. But
yeah,
you bring the heat versus that dude, he's gonna crush under pressure. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I just think that's the difference maker for me. I think the Browns offense can hang with the Steelers offense. As of late, they've been a little sluggish, but I think the defense is where the main difference lies. They both have good coaching and whatnot. I like Stefanski. Tomlin's good as well. So I mean, you can't deny talent there, but the Browns defense has just been kind of too inconsistent for me. I think the Steelers defense is one of the best in the leagues. So I think that's going to be the difference in this game. I think it'll remain pretty close because divisional games, they don't know how to prepare for each other. They just played each other last week. So it's like, they're not going to have any, surprises, but I think the Steelers are a little too much. I think they'll move on to the next round.
100%.
Let's move on to the next one. This one was very tough for me to pick. Ravens versus Titans.
Tighten up.
Me and Deli here had the pleasure of going to the Pats last year. Brady's last
Brady's
game.
funeral.
And the Titan up team trained bending us over and bending over the rest of the league practically.
Last King 2.
Last King 2 is an absolute problem, and that's why it was so hard for me to pick this friggin' game. As you can see, I went with the Ravens. The reason I did go with the Ravens, which obviously I could regret this pick, I think the Titans could very well win this game. The reason I went with the Ravens, I just think this is a full-out revenge game for them. They got kicked out of the playoffs last year, and Lamar Jackson himself is, he's an unbelievable talent. Everybody knows that, and he's really starting to heat up here at the end of the year. I know their schedule is, kind of easy.
He can't throw 15 yards though.
He's been better these last few games. I don't know. He's bummy. He shows flashes. But the thing is here though, the Titans.
That's Hollywood Brown. He gets a fucking flash of a pass like once a game.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. The guy's an incredible talent. They don't throw as much because they're so good at running. And their running game's even coming alive too without Lamar Jackson running as much. They have, J.K. Dobbins is having a breakout. Gus Edwards has been surprisingly good this year. But I think the main difference here lies with me is the defense. The Titans defense gets carved up every fucking game, and they bank on Derrick Henry and the rest of their offense to just put out because, Tannehill's been unbelievable this year. A.J. Brown's had a great year. Corey Davis has had a really good year. And, Derrick Henry, unbelievable year, 2,000 plus rushing.
Jonnu Smith has been a huge shocker too.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. That whole offense has been very potent, but I think in the playoffs it really comes down to having a complete team. I think the Ravens are just slightly more, complete. I think they have a really pretty strong defense. They have, Calais Campbell, Marlon Humphrey. They got, Marcus Peters. They're good secondary, good front seven, good linebackers. Patrick Queen panned out for them, good draft pick for them. I just think that defense is going to make a little bit of a difference and make the Titans a little uncomfortable. They're going to build probably a little bit of an early lead, and I think that they're just going to be able to run that game. It will be close. Like I said, very close, skin the teeth pick here, but I'm going to take the Ravens. Lamar Jackson gets the monkey off of his back, gets his first playoff win.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm looking at it on paper, 100% agree, like what you're saying, but the Titans got this guy, Last King 2, an immovable object where he's going to run it down your fucking throat, and he still runs it anyway. And he's good for at least one Ravens player going to be a blocker a game like he did to Earl Thomas.
One time, and another time just in the middle of the back on Earl Thomas. Biggest run of the afternoon.
It's gone, but somebody's going to be next up. Somebody's going to be next in line.
That meme still circulates.
Well, to boot, too, like you were saying, Lamar Jackson's got that monkey on his back with the playoffs. I mean, he absolutely disappears in the playoffs. It's not even like, he can't throw the ball, which he's kind of sketchy as a thrower anyway, but then he could run it. He can't do shit. Like, he's like non-existent in the playoffs for whatever reason. So, we'll see. I think I got the Titans just because Last King 2, he's just going to run it down their gut.
No, dude, that's the reason I almost went Titans in this one, and they're home as well. I know there's no fans really, but I think that's still an advantage. You know what I mean? Not having to leave, not traveling, anything like that. So you get the comfortability of your home. But like I said, I just think that Lamar Jackson himself, if this was like, we're talking about Mark Sanchez here, monkey on his back, then I'd be like, no, this is going to continue. But Lamar Jackson, I think, is just too talented of a player to have this continue. I think he's going to get his first playoff win. So that's why I went with
Big Truz in action.
I'm in big trust, at least for round one.
Big trust. Woo woo. Lamar Jackson in the flesh. Yes, sir. Big trust.
I think the ruck runs out pretty soon after, though. Do you want to pop to the NFC side for wildcard games?
Yeah, I'll pop to NFC.
Okay, so let's look at the NFC wildcard games. We'll start with the Bears visiting the number 2 overall Saints. This game, I mean, the Bears barely squeaked in. They've had like the weirdest year. They kind of like go from having a really strong defense in the beginning of the year and their offense completely sucking and not being able to find a quarterback that works out. And then now their defense is kind of sucking. So it's just kind of been weird and it's like flip. Their offense is kind of working out now and they're scoring some points. It makes no sense, but overall, I'm not going to waste too much time on this one. Kamara's going to be back from COVID protocol. Michael Thomas is back from IR. They should beat the Bears. There's no.
Saints got it in the bag as long as they don't get the referee playoff luck like the last 3 years.
Yep. Yeah. No. The only way they're losing this is if they get fucked by the refs 1 or 2, just blow it because they have a bad habit of blowing it. But since this is Breeze's last year, apparently, according to his tenure, this could be a team that's motivated to win for him. So I just don't see them taking an extra to the Bears. I just don't think the Bears are good enough.
Michael Thomas is a huge hit for them not to have as well. So this will definitely be a good challenge from the start off with such a talented defense.
I think he'll be back though. Actually, they only placed him on IR for the rest of the season. He's supposed to be active this first week in the playoffs.
Okay, we'll see. His bum hammy might kick in.
Yeah, no. Right now it's his ankle.
Or maybe he'll fight another teammate.
Yeah, no. Yeah, no. Hopefully he keeps his cool and leaves his punch in the other team. But no, Michael Thomas should be back. Kamara should be off COVID protocol. So I think that overall they're going to be able to beat the Bears. I don't think with much of a problem at all.
Yeah, they're talented. They have a great coach, Sean Payton. He's a dirty bastard when he used to have targeting, but you can't deny he's a great coach, you know?
Yeah, he's a good coach. They're always good every year. Never finish, but they're good every year. Moving on, we'll talk about the Rams visiting the number 3 Seahawks. I went with the Seahawks here. You did as well. The reason for this one, honestly, I was close to taking the Rams just because of Goff's, if Goff didn't have the bum hand situation right now and it's on his throwing hand. So that's the main concern for me. He's getting a surgery on it. I know that he's going to be back in time, but I think things don't heal that quick. It's literally in a week turnaround. He's getting a surgery and he has to play a week later. And he's playing against the Seahawks defense that is a little bit improved. But overall, divisional games are just very tough. So I thought that Rams actually healthy because they've beaten them already this year. The Rams' healthy defense could match up well against this team. The Seahawks, DK Metcalf's been a problem, but they have someone called Jalen Ramsey who ratchets up really well against these big physical receivers. He's not as good against the finesse guys, but he's good against those big, lengthy downfield guys. So I think that with taking him out of the game, they definitely have the advantage on defense, and they have, guys that can score. They have Robert Woods, they have Cooper Kupp, they have, good offensive players. Cam Akers breaking out, but I thought this is going to be a very close game. I think it's going to be low scoring. The defenses show up in this one, but I'm taking Seattle at home.
Yeah, exactly. It's going to come down to the quarterback battle. I mean, in the playoffs, I'm taking Russ over most quarterbacks in the league anyway. But especially Goff, where his thumb's going to be messed up, that's a huge blow. Like I remember Breeze last year had that thumb problem. He was out like 5-6 weeks. It's like they want this kid to come back in a week. Like,
yeah, no, that's why I just said if he was healthy, I think we could have a conversation where maybe the Rams would pull this one out because I think they could match up well with them.
But, definitely.
With Goff, with the Rams potentially starting a guy that has a finance fucking degree 2 days ago, if he's starting again, then I don't think they're going to come anything close. But I think Goff will.
He's a young game changer. Don't sleep on him.
Oh, he played pretty well. I'll give him credit.
In the fantasy league, come on now.
They won with him. So I mean, honestly, maybe he pulls some more magic. Maybe this is the next Tom Brady in the making. Who knows? But good for him. Honestly, props to that guy, Warford, I think his name is. But good for you. Winning a game against Kyler Murray, the number 1 overall pick. So that's honestly props to you. That is unbelievable now that I think about it like that. But I just think with Goff coming back off injury, the Seahawks are a little too good. So I'm going to take the Seahawks.
Yes, sirski.
And then moving into the joke game of the week, we have the Buccaneers going on the road.
Don't sleep on the football team, man. Come on now. Chase Young's coming for Tom. I want Tom.
Tom Brady, I'm coming. I want Tom.
It's going to be a bloodbath, unfortunately, for Chase Young. The Bucs, I'm telling you, as you can see, I'm confident. them, and I just like how their playoff structure works out this year. So I don't know. I personally think that they're going to go all the way, as you can see in my playoff bracket. But just in this round, we'll go round by round, and I'll explain why. But round by round, I just think I'm not going to waste time on this one. I think Washington, they're a pretty decent team. They're at the same record as the Pats this year.
If you gave them like a legit quarterback, not Alex Smith on one leg, they'd be a legit threat. That defense is no joke.
That defense is very good. Yeah,
it's no joke. And then the offense with Gibson, who's a great young player, and Terry McLaurin, who's a great young player, and then Logan Thomas, who's like come out of nowhere. He's super athletic. He's actually very, very good.
Shaq Thompson there defensively. The hurdle by Thomas, who's a fantastic athlete. Wow, that carries us.
They had like a legit quarterback, unlike Trash Can Haskins, who fucking got dumped. He could have been the future, but it is what it is. Now they got one-legged Alex Smith. If he doesn't want to come back player of the year
he's
either.
He's a good game manager. He's a game manager, but he won't win you anything. That's the thing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. He's always been a good quarterback, a good guy to steer the ship, but he won't win you the big games,
Yeah. And like you said, they're starting to find some good offensive pieces. They got Terry McLaurin, one of the better receivers in the league. And then they got, Antonio Gibson coming out of the woodworks this year. And then on top of that, Logan Thomas out of nowhere. There's that guy Sims makes plays here and there for them. They got Inman as well. I believe, who's been making some plays for them. But they have a pretty decent receiving core and a pretty decent running back. But the quarterback play, obviously, they need to improve a little bit. But, he's a game manager, but he won't win the thing. I think the whole point of the playoffs is the complete teams win, and I just don't think they have enough on offense, especially to match up with the Buccaneers. The Buccaneers just have way too much. So
you have to have a complete, well-balanced team, or you got to have, like, a top 3 offense and, like, a middle-pack defense, or, like, vice versa. You know what I mean? It's like...
Exactly. Like the Pats have won, just for this example, since we're Pats fans, but the Pats in the past years have won Super Bowls from having top offenses and middle of the pack defenses. Kind of similar to that.
It's a trend. You see it to all the Super Bowl winners. You know what I mean?
Yep. No. Yeah. You'll see like the random people get in there and make some surprises. That's why I had the number 5 seed going this year. I think not always it's going to be the 1 and 2 seeds going. So I just think they're good enough to be one of the top teams. They just didn't work out that way for them. It took time to mesh. But anyways, moving on, we'll get to the divisional round in the AFC. We'll go to the first game. We'll talk about the Ravens visiting the Chiefs in Arrowhead after their week 1 bye or playoff bye in the first round. This should be another great game. Everybody wants to see the 2 young QBs go at it, MVPs. Probably in the future. It's just
been.
Yeah. Was Mahomes MVP as well?
Yeah. When
I forgot
touchdowns that. His first season as a starter.
His first season, he got it.
Second season in the league, first as the starter.
Okay, so that I forgot.
That was when the Pats beat them in the AFC Championship.
He was MVP that year.
The Rams in the bowl.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he won MVP. I forgot that. That's right. He got the MVP cards, man. Because
I know I thought he won one, but I wasn't sure since it's so early in his career. So I was like, did he actually win one? But yeah, he did win one.
Starter, he had 50 TDs.
Yeah, no, he was disgusting. But overall, I think everybody wants to see the 2 MVPs battle it out. And I think it should be a good game. I just think the Chiefs are too much, to be honest. I don't think that the Ravens offense is good enough to keep up with the Chiefs offense. And the Chiefs defense is actually way better than they get credit for. They have a really good secondary. They have 2 great pass rushers. They just have good pieces everywhere on that team. And the coaching is obviously off the charts too with Andy Reid. They're good in every aspect. And I'm not betting against Pat Mahomes at home. So give me the Chiefs.
Yeah, exactly. The Chiefs did take a slight hit though. They had DeAndre Baker, their corner. He broke his femur.
Yeah.
But they'll make up for it. It's another team. They have like the best defense best offense in the league, and then like middle of the pack like defense. So
yeah. But
they got playmakers on defense. So they have like Frank Clark, Chris Jones, and Tyrann Mathieu, the Honey Badger.
I like the other corner, Breeland too. He's pretty good.
Yeah, he's come out of his shell a little bit this year. He's actually shined a little bit.
Playing pretty well. That guy Sorensen, that linebacker they have, is good too.
Yeah,
they have a few good
pieces.
Yeah, they do. That's a good team, and they're well coached. So I'm just not taking them. And obviously, I'm not.
They have experience, experience and coaching, like the 2 biggest factors when it comes to the playoffs. Like in any sport, it doesn't matter. Football, hockey, basketball, doesn't matter. If you have experience in coaching, you can go a very long way just off that.
100%. Yeah, that's why I just don't think it's much of a contest here. I think the Chiefs are going to take this one without question. I just don't see them being able to come to Arrowhead after 2 weeks of preparation and beating the Chiefs. They're just too much on offense. I don't think they can keep up. So that's my prediction on that one. And you definitely agree. So moving to the next game in the AFC for the divisional round, we have the Steelers visiting the Bills. Once again, I'm going with the Bills here. I just think the Steelers showed they were phony the first time they played. I think the Bills beat them by like 10 points, maybe even a little more. And the Bills, they're so hot right now. They're just one of the hottest teams in the league. They're balling every week, dropping 40 plus on everybody they play, and their defense has really stepped up as well as of late. So I just really think that with Allen and Diggs running all over this team, the Steelers secondary is their weak point on their defense, if anything.
They got John Brown too, as long as he's healthy.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, they got Brown and Beasley. I think
Beasley
is super
underneath. He's popped off this year, dude.
Yeah, he's just super underrated. Their whole team was underrated before this year. Now they put them on the map by making the number 2 seed. But I just think the Bills are a little too much for them. I think the Steelers are kind of phony, and they can't really beat these elite teams. I don't think they're in the elite tier. So.
Well, their offense, they got Big Ben, who is always been notorious for turning over the ball, but then it doesn't help that he's actually making the throws, and the guys just drop it. You know what I mean? I think that they're leading the league, I think, by a wide margin in drop balls. Like, it's crazy.
Which is crazy because the guys they have they're throwing the ball to are pretty fucking good. They got Juju Smith-Schuster, Deontay Johnson, and Chase Claypool have all had great years, but they do drop some passes. So it's like that doesn't help. But overall,
they got a good running back in Connor too, and they got Ebron, who's no slouch.
Yeah. No, that's what I'm saying. Their whole offense is good, and their whole defense is good. They're a complete team on paper, but I think their problem is putting it all together.
Yeah,
they have some young pieces as well. You got fucking Juju dancing on logos like a moron. That nothing to more than that. I like Juju until that. Good guy or whatever, but I mean, just
I'm not going to stop being me.
Yeah, I mean, you can dance anywhere. Just don't dance on the team's logo. It's just disrespect.
But. AB called it before any of us do. They're like, yo, he's a phony. I make Juju. And now AB's balling out in Tampa, even though he's like technically like the third string wide receiver. He's still balling, but Juju ain't doing shit. He's number 1 wide receiver.
That's what I'm saying. It's great. I mean, yeah, it really is. That shows that he's a better number 2. But I mean, AB and him aren't even in the same conversation. AB is a lot better than him. So that's how it works. But that's an easy pick for me too. And for you, me and you both agree, AFC Championship will be between the Chiefs and the Bills. Moving back to the
Break
NFC
out the tables, baby.
That's right. Yeah, dude, we're gonna be breaking some tables if they get to the AFC Championship game. You'll believe that.
I want to see Jim Kelly's now beating cancer ass jumping through a table.
Dude, he better be, dude. He lost 4 Super Bowls for him, so he should at least get excited.
The 4 falls in Buffalo.
That's right. So yeah, this was my hardest game to choose. The Packers versus the Buccaneers. This is very, very tough. And honestly,
what about the Saints Seahawks? You want to do that one first?
Yeah, we'll go back to that one. So yeah, Saints Seahawks. We'll do that first. Saints Seahawks. This is going to be a very good game. I think all these divisional games will be pretty tight. Saints Seahawks. They have some, good history together. Played a lot of games against each other. Both NFC teams. I think the Saints at home are going to get it done. And I think the Saints are finally going to have a year where they don't choke in the first or second round. I think they're going to the NFC Championship. And I think that their team, the main difference for me picking this game is the defense. I always go back to that complete team.
Well, defense wins championships, man.
That's what I'm saying. The defense all year has been solid for the defense all year has been solid for the Saints, and they have people to match up against DK Metcalf. Marshawn Lattimore is great. He plays lights out against big body wide receivers. That Mike Evans plays terrible against Marshawn Lattimore. Marshawn Lattimore is an elite corner, and no one talks about him. He's a good corner. So they're going to have him to match up with DK. Not to say that he'll stop him in every regard, but he's definitely good to have for that. And I think the rest of their run defense is phenomenal. They have Cameron Jordan to get after the pass rush. That's a good defense and a good offense. When Kamara and Michael Thomas are healthy and Breeze is comfortable back there, and they can protect him, the Saints have one of the best O-lines as well. They're just a very complete team, coached up well. And even though Seattle, I think, will keep it very tight in this one, or they could win. It's going to be a close game, but I'm just going to lean the Saints. Drew Brees' last year, they give them the extra motivation. They're going to keep going. Saints.
Yeah, pretty much. It's all comes down to the defense. Defense wins championships.
Yeah, that's why I agree. And like I said, the Seahawks defense has actually been better of late, but it's just too inconsistent for me to fully buy in for the playoffs. You know what I mean? The Saints have been good from week 1 to week 17. They were good. So it's like, you can't go against that. So I'm taking the Saints in a tough QB battle here between two of the greats. But moving on to the game that I had the most trouble picking was Green Bay and Tampa Bay. The reason I went with Tampa Bay here, and I want to hear your side on this too, because you also picked Tampa Bay. But the reason I picked this game here as Tampa Bay winning is because a couple reasons. I just think that Green Bay's matchup nightmare is the Buccaneers. They already played early this year. They got absolutely killed.
They got croaked.
They
got choked up and down the field.
And I know it's just one game, but if you look on paper and you see the mismatches everywhere, it's like, first of all, you go on the Packers offense. They just lost David Bakhtiari, who's the best tackle pretty much in the league.
Yeah.
And the
that's
Bucs
a blind side too, man. That's like the worst position to be out of if you're a quarterback.
That's what I'm saying. Shaq Barrett and JPP are going to be eating Aaron's ass that game. Like, it's going to be bad. You know what I mean? Like, it's going to be absolutely bad.
Like groceries.
That's like, people don't talk about how big of a loss that is for the Packers, but that's a huge.
Yeah, that can make or break the game. I mean, how many times do we see left tackles go down, and then it's like the whole offense is like just gone?
It's gone.
Bucs are also one of the. I think they might be actually number one against the run. So Aaron Jones is going to have a tough day as well. And I mean, they're going to have to run the ball. Chances are it's going to be cold out, frigid, up in Green Bay. But I actually think that's an advantage.
Tom's used to playing in the cold, though.
Yeah, no, Tom is, but the rest of the Tampa Bay is. That's the problem. Yeah, Tom and Gronk will be fine, but I don't know about the rest of that Florida team. You know what I mean? So that's a little bit worrisome. If it's like a snow game, then I might lean the Packers. But for this sake, we don't know the fucking weather's sake. I'm picking the Bucs here. Even on the defensive side of the ball for Green Bay, they got Jaire Alexander. They struggle heavily against the run, though. I think Ronald Jones and Fournette will have a good game.
Dude, they have two top running backs over there. They got Rojo and they got Fournette. Like the Packers defense is like Swiss cheddar, bro.
And when you start stopping the running backs and you look out in the defense and the secondary and you only have Jaire Alexander to stop Mike Evans, you look around and they still have Chris Godwin and Antonio Brown tearing you up across the middle and downfield and everywhere else.
And Gronk in the team.
Yep, and all the other players they have too. Like, even the other like filling guys are good. Like, Scotty Miller's been awesome this year. Like, they just like have so many.
Keyshawn Vaughn has been pretty good when he's getting touches.
That's what I'm saying. Like, they have weapons all over the field. They're a matchup nightmare for any team.
I mean, the offensive line sometimes has been shaky, but they're actually pretty good. I mean, they invested some good draft capital into that position.
They do, and Green Bay doesn't have an elite pass rusher, so that's the thing. I think that this is just a matchup nightmare for Green Bay. This is the last team they want to see. In my opinion, and I just think that they're the least suited to beat them. So I just think the Bucs are going to win this game, and it's going to, power them through for the rest of the playoffs. I think that confidence they get from winning in Lambeau is going to power them through. But I just think the matchup nightmare. I know that first game doesn't mean everything. It's not an end all be all, but I just don't like the way it looks for me on my end. And I'm looking at all the stats and the players they have and where people are going to be matching up. It's just the Bucs are hot right now.
Over here.
The Bucs are hot right now, and I just think that Green Bay coming off that bye might lose a little bit of that swagger they got right now. Sometimes the bye week's not good for teams. That worries me a little bit. So I'm going with the Bucs. Did I miss anything? Do you have anything to say about that?
No. TB12 the GOAT too. Fucking he has every record in the playoffs. So I mean that alone will probably that'll make up for the slack of if there's any pretty much in that matchup. You know what I mean?
Exactly. It's going to be very close. That was, like I said, toughest game to pick. Green Bay is phenomenal this year. MVP Aaron Rodgers. No doubt. Very, very.
He's going to get the MVP curse. It might just come a little bit early. You know what I mean?
Exactly. don't win Super Bowls either. So that people got to remember that. But yeah, overall, I think the Bucs are really good. I'm taking them there. Moving on back to the AFC Championship now. We got the Bills taking on the Chiefs in the AFC Championship. This is going to be a fucking awesome game. And I like I said, I want the Bills to go so bad, Mike. I'm with you. I just don't see them doing it at Arrowhead against Pat Mahomes. I think the Bills, comes down, Mike, you talked about it earlier, comes down to experience and, coaching. And, Andy Reid is a great coach. Their coach is great too. So don't get me wrong. Their coach has done it.
Yeah, Sean McDermott's a good coach.
Yeah.
I've been saying it since he got the job. He instantly turned that team around.
Exactly. So, yeah, Sean McDermott has done great. He's a great coach. He'll have him prepare for this game. But Andy Reid has more experience. The team has more experience, and they have the best quarterback in the league in Patrick Mahomes. So it's hard to pick against them at home. I don't think they're going to be beaten. I think it's going to be very close. But I wouldn't be surprised if the Bills win because the Bills, like I said, are red hot right now. But I'm taking the Chiefs just because of that. And they're the only team I think in the AFC that can match points with the Chiefs. So I think that for that reason, it's going to be very close, and they will have a chance to win. But I'm going to stick with the Chiefs.
Yeah, I agree 100%. The only thing is I'd still would give A-Rod best quarterback in the league. That's
fine. I'm just going with the consensus. Everybody dick rats Patrick Mahomes. I'm just saying for that reason alone, Pat Mahomes is the best quarterback just because the general consensus thinks that. So
Well, I mean, it's easy to be great when you got all those weapons and such a good coach. I'm not to say that he sucks. He's definitely tremendous. If you put him on another team, he would still be good, but he just, he wouldn't be as good.
Yeah, no, and that's
bound to
like
happen.
that's not.
He came in a great situation. That's just a great job by the GM and the coach.
Yeah, and like I said too, that's not even my like my top quarterback or whatever. Like that's just from the general consensus. People think he's the best, so that's why I said that. But yeah, moving on, we both took KC there. Moving on, we got the NFC Championship. We got the Bucks and the Saints. We went opposite directions here, but we both had the same NFC champions here, or the same NFC Championship game matchup. Why did you pick the Saints, Mike? Start with you.
Bro, because they clapped the Bucks cheeks twice during the regular season. Like, it was a no contest. The Saints are going to be at home for this one because they have the higher seed because they won the division. And obviously that makes like a huge advantage. Not to mention the Saints have playoff experience because they've been there multiple times in like the past couple of years, and the Bucks are pretty much newcomers for the most part. They're not really used to winning. They don't have like that pedigree besides Brady and Gronk. As well as Sean Payton is just a far better coach than Bruce Arians. Bruce Arians has had, I mean, he's not a bad coach, but he's not like the best. I don't think he's gonna be able to get that team over the hump. That's just me personally, The only way I see the Saints losing is if Drew Brees goes out and craps his diaper. That's it.
Yeah, no, like I said, this is another one of the toughest games I had to choose as well, because I do think the Saints are built very, very well to win this year, and I think that, like I said, that deciding factor, Brees might be in his last year. Everybody wants to get him a ring, another one. So I think that alone is a powerful thing for the team. But I think the same thing is for Tom Brady and the Bucks. I think the Bucks are grateful that he's there, and they want to get him to the top before he's gone, just like they did with Manning, just like they did with Ray Lewis. You know what I mean? So I think the storybook ending is what's going to happen here with Brady.
But he's still got another year though, so he, they might be like, we don't get it this year, we go next year.
That's what worries me. I just really like what I'm seeing from the Bucks lately. I'm really starting to see them click. And I've been watching a lot of their games from start to finish.
Just because you went to Raymond James Stadium, I don't want to hear it.
No, I know, and I'm a little biased. I love Tom Brady, but this is just off my personal guess. This isn't because I'm just bandwagoning Tom Brady, because that's not it. I just like the way the Bucks are built. They have
half of the New England fan base.
They have to. They're a talented team. I mean, I'm still a Pats fan.
That's undeniable.
If the Pats were in the playoffs, I'd be rooting for them, not the Bucks. But overall, looking at the team, and it might take a little time because they're kind of young, some of the pieces they got there. But I just think on paper they're one of the most talented teams, if not the most talented. And I think that it's going to be a close game. I think the Bucks are going to learn from their mistakes after the embarrassment that they had at home. I know the Saints kicked their ass twice this year, and I think that sticks, especially with someone like Tom Brady. He's going to want to play better. And both of those games they played were early in the year, where they were pretty uncomfortable, still meshing together. Now you see they've kind of hit their stride and they're getting hot at the right time. So I just like them to keep rolling, man. That's kind of what I think is going to happen. And unfortunately, I don't hate Drew Brees, one of my favorite players in the league, and I like the Saints. Actually, they're probably my second favorite team behind the Pats. But overall, I just think the Bucks are a little more built up. But the coaching is the better differentiator. I can't even talk. Better differentiator between the two. So I think that's and experience. So it's a big differentiator. So that could play. Like I said, cutting hairs, splitting hairs here. It's going to be very close. But I just went with the Bucks because that's what I have in my gut.
Any given Sunday.
That's right. Yeah, I had it in my gut, so that's what I went with.
Then on to the bowl, baby.
On to the bowl. Del, do you want to take it away? Chiefs first, Saints. You start up.
Yeah, I got the Chiefs. The only team that could beat the Chiefs is the Chiefs. You know what I mean? Like, unless they self-implode and Pat Mahomes goes out and plays like shit, which, I mean, he's even shown, like, versus the Dolphins this year, he threw 3 picks and they still won the game because that offense is just so nuts. The only way that they're going to lose is if they beat themselves. And I got the Chiefs versus the Saints, and the Chiefs have already beaten the Saints already this year. Chiefs are just a matchup nightmare all across the board. So I don't see anybody taking the throne from them. They're going to go back to back, and it's going to be the start of another dynasty. Unfortunately, as a Patriots fan, we get to watch that in the AFC, which absolutely blows. It's a gut punch. Reality check.
As we sit here in the Swallows.
Yeah.
No, I mean, we've had our run. It's whatever.
Without even a top 10 pick because, Cam Newton, Bill Belichick had to believe in Cam.
No, I wish we didn't. See the Chiefs, I went against them. One, I think the Bucks could do it. I think they match up the best against them. But I did pick against them just pretty much based on because I don't want them to win. But I will say that they're very, very good. Obviously, picking against them is like borderline crazy. That's just how good they've been this year.
Even last year versus San Fran, and I'd argue San Fran's last year's team, besides a quarterback, was pretty much just as good. I mean, their defense was obviously better. Their run game was better. Not to say like their running backs were more talented, but their run game was better. Quarterback and wide receiver obviously not as good. And then tight end George Kittle, like in his current career, like current state of his career, is better than Gronk because Gronk's older now. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
And the Chiefs were down 2 scores in that game as well, and they just came back and won. I mean, that could be anything, like a Kyle Shanahan choke, like again, like the 28-3 right here, or a multitude of different reasons. But I just think that the 49ers of last year were the better all-around team for a multitude of reasons than the Bucs.
Yeah, no, I
maybe
mean,
not like on paper. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm talking about like play, defense, coaching.
Yeah. No, that's definitely fair. I honestly picked I honestly picked San Fran to win that game last year.
I did too.
Yeah, I just felt like their defense was the differentiator there between them, but it didn't pan out that way, and Mahomes showed you why. The guy's unbelievable, and my pick
that
here
should have been Damian Williams for Super Bowl MVP though. He carried.
Yeah, no, that guy he was on robbed. He was on one. Yeah. Looking at this year for me though, I have Bucs and Chiefs. Like I said, picked against the Chiefs pretty much because I don't like them, but that's just because I'm a little biased. But anyways though, I do think the Bucs are going to win this year, and that's just like I said, not biased or anything like that. It's just I like the way their roster is constructed. I like how they're hitting their stride right now.
Dude, this Floridians converted you bad, huh?
Oh yeah. No, it's not even just that. I just think the storybook ending always prevails for the NFL. They like something that's marketable. But
so you're saying the NFL's fixed?
Maybe. What about the Ray Lewis with the lights going
lights
out?
Lights out.
They getting their ass raped. They like literally just all of a sudden just like the lights blow out and they just come back and they're like this unbelievable team.
They're getting their rim licked around.
Yep, that's how she works. But God knows if it's fixed or not. But I like I said, going into more of my reasoning why I think the Bucs will go all the way to the finals or the Super Bowl is because they get a cakewalk against the football team to start. Green Bay, I think, as a tough game, obviously, but Green Bay, I think, is a matchup nightmare, though, for them, I feel like. That's just personally honest. I just don't think Green Bay matches up well against Tampa, so I think they're going to win that game. And then when they beat Green Bay, I think their confidence is going to be through the roof to beat the Saints. So that's why I think they get there. When they get there, I just think I'm taking the GOAT in the Super Bowl. There's just even against Pat Mahomes, I mean, he's the best player ever until Pat Mahomes proves differently. And if he gets to another one, he's going to be on cloud 9 and he's going to want to finish his career out with 7. So I'm just taking him. The game's going to be split between hairs, like I said. And I just think the difference maker, they definitely get the better coaching on the Chiefs. The wide receivers and running backs, I'd say, are pretty even. The quarterbacks are pretty even, in my opinion. Mahomes is a little better because he's younger, obviously, but Brady's the GOAT. There's no one like him. And then the defense, I'd say I'd give a slight edge to the Bucs, but pretty close. So I'm just going with the Bucs. That's what I feel like, gut feeling, like I said. So that's kind of why I'm going with them.
Yeah, I mean, Bucs, I'd even give them the wide receiver edge, too. They have Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, and AB, who each of them on their own, if they were on their own team, they'd all be wide receiver 1s.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, they definitely have a better receiving core because considering outside of Tyreek Hill, it's like Sammy Watkins or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah.
They're all just speed demons. You can't keep up with them because like Pat Mahomes, he's going to roll around, go every which way, like reverse. And then it's like, by then it's like 10 seconds. You can't cover the guy that fast for 10 seconds,
No, it's close to impossible.
Yeah.
But overall, that's my picks. I got the Bucs going all the way this year. Dell got the Kansas City Chiefs going all the way. A lot of these games are going to be very close.
Baby.
A lot of these games are going to be very, very close. I'm excited to see it pan out. Can't wait. I'm licking my chops for this weekend. Make sure you guys go and send us in your picks for every week and, get us your brackets in before the game start on Saturday so you can get entered in the contest to win a $25 Amazon gift card. At chosen.sports is the ad on the Instagram.
Guys, it ain't much, but it's honest work. Let's get that free money. It takes like a minute. We literally, like, obviously we like to think that we're pros, but we kind of just made these up like real quick just based off our own personal knowledge because we follow the games every week. So I don't think it'll take you guys more than 5 minutes. We have faith in you.
Yeah, exactly. Just follow the sweepstakes, enter in, and get this money. And, let's enjoy some playoff football. 2021, let's kick it off right. So thanks, guys, for watching, and I appreciate everybody. Peace.
Peace out, guys.